6 tricks that are super easy to teach to guinea pigs or other small pets. Subscribe for more trick training and consider joining my Facebook group, KimSpeaksPiggie's Spark Team, to earn trick titles for your pets. Starting with platform jump. First, let them eat food off of the platforms. Then with the platforms together, like it's one big platform, lure them from one to the other and back again. Then add a space in between the platform. Then add maybe half an inch each time. Make sure you do this on top of a soft surface like a bath mat or a rug, just in case they fall. And when they're doing it automatically, add in your hand and verbal cue. Our next trick is hoop jump. I find that the hardest thing here is to get them to not jump onto the hoop but through it. So you want to be really consistent about only rewarding when their foot doesn't go on the hoop. Right from the beginning, you want to make sure they're kind of hopping over it. So start by just luring them through the hoop, then start to just hold the treat on the other side of the hoop, then start to raise the hoop, probably like a centimeter at a time. Make sure the hoop and the height you're asking them to jump is safe. I wouldn't ask them to continually jump higher than their body height. Next, we're going to work on come. So I start by just luring them towards me from very short distances away. When they're doing that well, you can start to leave a trail of treats so that you can work on longer distance comes. Now keep in mind, guinea pigs are prey animals. They're naturally fearful and skittish, so you can't get super exciting and make kissy noises like you can with a dog. That will probably just scare your guinea pig away. So instead, just focus on the treats. Use a trail of treats and then make your trail have fewer treats. Then I hold out my hand flat with a bunch of treats. And then I hold out my hand flat the same way, but with no treats. I still give a treat at the end, though. And then I start to use my actual cue, which is a pat on the floor.
Come. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Hey. Good boy.
Next is jumping over your leg. Guinea pigs are not really built to jump that high, so I'm really just looking for them to crawl over it. I start by just leaving treats on top of my leg and letting them eat them off of it. Then I lure them on top of my leg, and as their paws stay on my leg, I continue to feed them. Then I move the treat further and further away to entice them to be more and more on my leg. And I continue to try to lure them over my leg, or at the very least on top of it. Younger and healthier guinea pigs are of course going to be able to do this a lot easier. Once they're comfortable going over the leg, you can start to hold the treat further and further away so they jump over your leg faster. And then you can start to just put the treat on the floor on the other side of your leg, making sure that they see it.
Yes. Good.
Then to fade out the lure, I use my hand and just tap the other side of my leg instead of holding a treat.
Yep.
And when they jump over it, I still give them the treat. I want my final signal to actually be kind of like pointing at my leg, because that's how I signal a hoop jump and a bar jump. So then that's the hand signal I start to use once they're really getting it.
The next trick is which hand is the treat in. The goal is for them to use their nose to figure out where the treat is. So you're going to put the treat in one of your hands and present both of your hands. When they sniff the correct hand, you're going to give them the treat. If they sniff the incorrect hand, give them a second to choose to go to the other hand. If they don't and they stay at the empty hand, just open your hand and let them see that there's nothing there. At first, this will probably be a little confusing, but then they'll start to figure it out. When they sniff the hand with the treat, give it to them. Keep in mind that after a few times, your hands are both going to smell like treats. If your pet is really struggling, you may want to designate one hand as the treat hand and just switch that hand from being on the left to the right, but always just the one hand with the treats in it so that that's the only smelly hand. And Maple has done scent work with even actual scents, not just food, and you can see he's still kind of struggling with this because he can smell the carrot on my empty hand. If you want, you could also put the treat in like a small box or something so that it doesn't actually touch your hand, but that would be a lot more work. So after they are doing a good job of consistently going to the correct hand, you want to wait them out a little longer so that they kind of stay on the right hand for a second or two before you open the hand and reward them. So here's an example of what that would look like.
Yes.
Sorry. You weren't expecting me to talk. I'm sorry. Try to randomly put the treat in a hand each time. No patterns. Don't do left, right. That's too easy. When they are getting it at a rate much higher than 50%, that's how you know they understand. In the more advanced levels, this game looks for a specific alert rather than just sniffing the correct hand. Like maybe a clear nudge or a paw or standing on it, something like that.
Let's teach them to spin in a circle or to chase their non-existent tail. We're going to start by luring them into a fairly wide circle to make it really easy, either letting them nibble on a treat the whole time or giving them a couple small treats throughout the circle. Then each time you lure a circle, you can do a tighter and tighter circle and start to give them just a treat at the end. When they are doing it pretty quickly, you can add in a hand signal. I just move my finger around in a circle because that's a pretty natural transition from the lure. Then, as a fun challenge, you can ask them for 2 or even 3 circles before giving them their treat. Thanks so much for watching. Give it a like if you learned something. And don't forget to subscribe for more guinea pig content. Join my Facebook group to earn trick titles. Or sign up for my Small Pets Tricks class. Info in the description. See you next time.
Hey, you're a troublemaker.